Namaste. Now let us continue with 55th Sloka in chapter 2. Shri Bhagavan uvāca prajahāti yadā kāmān sarvān pārtha manogatān ātmany-evātmanā tuṣṭaḥ sthita-prajñas tadocyate. Prajahāti yadā kāmān sarvān pārtha manogatān ātmany-evātmanā tuṣṭaḥ sthita-prajñas tadocyate. Bhagavān had concluded the Karma Yoga section by saying that a Karma Yogi ultimately attains Atma Sakshatkaram. Next, Arjuna poses a question. Sthita-prajñasya ka bhāsha samadhistasya Keshavaha. So here, sthita-prajñah means one who has obtained the knowledge of the self, whose ajnanam has been removed. It's because of ignorance that we see a snake in a rope, and hence we experience fear. We see silver in a shell and we experience delusion. For a jnani, the ignorance is removed. Hence, he sees a rope as a rope and a pearl as a pearl. Hence, he has no fear or delusion. So here, Arjuna asks a question about the sthita-prajña, basically a brahmajnani. So Arjuna asks, in samadhi, how is a jnani? What is the definition? Bhāsha here means definition or lakshanas. As a second question, Arjuna asks, how does he talk? Where does he sit, or how does he act? And where does he wander about? To this, Bhagavān starts answering. This section is called as sthita-prajña prakarana. Basically, Bhagavān details the lakshanas of a jnani so that they become our sadhana. For what has been practiced for a long time becomes my very nature ultimately. Now let us go into the sloka. Prajahāti yadā kāmān sarvān pārtha manogatān. Prajahāti meaning he leaves sarvān kāmān, all desires. And where are those desires? Manogatān. So all the desires in the mind he leaves. We all have desires because we have some kind of incompleteness and we have some kind of discontentment. We feel that if you have something, then you will feel satisfied and complete. This is because we identify ourselves with this body-mind complex. Both the body and mind are limited and they are never permanent. Therefore, ultimately, it leads to dukkha. But this brahmajnani has understood or realized that he is not this body or the mind. He is the ever-present self, which is unchanging. He is pure awareness. Knowing that, he knows that this entire world is nothing but a manifestation of that Atmasvarupa, Sarvam Brahmamayam or Sarvam Shivamayam. That is, there is nothing else apart from that Brahma Tattvam. So he feels complete within himself. Therefore, he doesn't have any desires. In the second line, Bhagavān says, ātmany-evātmanā tuṣṭaḥ. This is an often quoted sentence about a jnani. Ātmani, in his self, ātmana, by himself, tuṣṭaḥ. So he is happy in him, by him. Generally, for all of us, we say that we'll be happy if we have something. There is a dependency and we are happy with someone. So we say that my happiness lies in my children. So our happiness lies somewhere else and our happiness depends on something. But for a brahmajnani, he is happy in his self, by himself. Meaning that he doesn't depend on any external things to make him happy, or his happiness is not dependent on something else. This is the lakshanam of a jnani in samadhi. What is samadhi? Generally, our mind throws lot of thoughts of varied nature continuously. When we start practicing focusing, which is called as dharana, we enter a state called dhyana, which is meditation. In meditation, the varied thought become just one thought. So earlier, an ordinary mind was throwing up thoughts of many kinds. In dhyanam or meditation, it is one type of thought or one thought which is continuously there. In meditation, so there is one thought and I am aware of that thought. In samadhi, this difference also dissolves. The difference of I and the thought dissolves and my mind just takes the form of the object it is meditating. This is called as samadhi. So in samadhi, the mind attains oneness with the object of meditation and there are no more thoughts. So here the jnani's mind has attained oneness with that Brahmatattva. Country, there have been so many great Mahans who have reached this state. One such person is Sadashiva Brahmendra. He was from the 16th century and he was the 57th Acharya of Kanchi. He was a Brahmajnani and used to often roam about naked. Once he went near the palace of a Muslim king. The Muslim king got angry and asked the soldiers to cut his hands. The soldiers came and cut off his hands. Sadashiva Brahmendra, who was ever immersed in the self, walked on as if nothing had happened. The Muslim king then understood that he was a jnani. So he took the hands that had fallen down and came to the feet of Sadashiva Brahmendra and asked for forgiveness. Sadashiva Brahmendra took the hands and kept it near his hands and they stuck together and he walked on as if nothing happened. This Atma or the self is different from this body and mind. In Lalita Sahasranamam, the names of Ambal like Nitya Tripta, Atma Rama are actually the attributes of this Atma Swarupam. We will continue again with the next sloka later. Dhanyavadaha.